The enormous docking bay of Nexus 9 hummed with activity as beings from across the galaxy bustled through the massive space station. Olivia Reese stood quietly in the shadows, watching the colorful array of species with careful eyes. Her slender frame and pointed ears drew curious glances from passers-by who whispered among themselves about the rare sight of an elven collective member so far from the Andromeda sector. None of them knew the truth. Olivia was human, a Deathworlder from Earth, a planet classified as extreme hazard zone in all Federation databases due to its crushing gravity, toxic atmosphere, unpredictable weather systems, and abundance of predators. The pointed ears and subtly altered features were genetic modifications designed to help her blend in among the stars. Her true nature remained her greatest weapon, Banshee. Her companion stirred inside the carrying case at her hip. The case vibrated slightly as the creature sensed its surroundings through the specialized mesh. Olivia placed a calming hand over it, knowing the micro-dragon could feel her heartbeat through her fingertips. Station security approached with scanning devices raised, identification and purpose elven visitor. The uniformed Nexian official demanded. His 4 eyes blinked in rapid sequence, scanning her genetic signature. Olivia offered the falsified documents with a serene smile. Trade delegation from the collective. She answered, her voice musical and soft in the way all elven vocals were expected to be. She had practiced for months to perfect the lilting accent, the smooth movements that hid the natural strength of her Deathworld muscles, the gentle demeanor that concealed combat training. The scanner hummed, and Olivia maintained her calm expression despite knowing how close to failure the mission teetered. The modified genetic markers were good but not perfect. A thorough investigation would reveal anomalies. The Nexian paused, studying the results before nodding. "The case, please," he gestured toward her hip. Olivia opened it, revealing Banshee, curled into a small ball scale shimmering with iridescent blues and greens. The creature appeared to sleep, its true nature carefully hidden beneath genetically engineered camouflage. What appeared to be decorative patterns along its spine were actually venomous barbs capable of paralyzing creatures, 10 times its size. "Harmless companion animal registered and approved," the official said, waving her through. He never noticed how Banshee opened one eye, momentarily revealing a vertical pupil that glowed with unnatural intelligence. Olivia moved through the security checkpoint and into the grand concourse of Nexus 9. The space station served as neutral territory for hundreds of species, a place where trade agreements were negotiated, scientific research shared, and entertainment provided to travelers from across the known universe. Massive screens displayed advertisements for various attractions, but one announcement dominated all. Others Arena Championship begins tomorrow. 3 challenges, 1 champion. Winner receives full citizenship and pardon. Below the announcement scrolled the names of competitors already registered, a collection of the most dangerous fighters from across the galaxy. Many were criminals seeking pardons. Others were professional gladiators chasing fame. All were lethal. Olivia studied the list, memorizing names and species. The intelligence briefing from Earth Command had prepared her for most, but several were unknown quantities. The arena had not been part of her original mission parameters, but Ambassador Sullivan had transmitted new orders 3 cycles ago. Enter the competition, gain access to the restricted levels. Find our people. Humanity had been part of the galactic community for less than a decade. A late arrival to interstellar travel, they were viewed with suspicion and fear by older species. Earth was designated a death world, a planet so harsh that its native species were considered naturally dangerous, unpredictable, and violent. What the Federation didn't understand was that humans had survived their hostile world, not through superior strength, but through adaptability, intelligence, and cooperation, qualities that made them dangerous. In different ways than expected, Olivia approached the registration terminal and placed her hand on the scanner. Interface screens adjusted to Elven language preferences, but she ignored the accommodation and switched to Galactic Standard registration. For Arena Championship, she stated. The automated system processed her request, displaying the rules and requirements. 3 battles, survival mandatory killing, optional specialized weapons, prohibited biological companions under 20 kilograms, permitted Olivia, confirmed her acceptance, and the system assigned her to the qualifying bracket, the lowest tier where newcomers proved their worth. Precisely where she needed to begin. A soft chirp from her communication device alerted her to an incoming message. Ambassador Sullivan was requesting confirmation. Olivia found a quiet alcove away from surveillance. She removed a small device from her ear, appearing to adjust a hearing aid while actually activating a short-range secure channel registration complete. She sub-vocalized, knowing the sensitive microphone would pick up the muscle movements of her throat. First qualification tomorrow. Access to competitor housing granted. Sullivan responded immediately. Excellent. Preliminary scans suggest holding cells. On level 67, remember your primary objective is information and location. Our people come first. The championship is secondary. Olivia acknowledged the reminder, though part of her burned with the desire to win. The arena represented everything humans had faced since joining the galactic community: underestimation, prejudice, the assumption of weakness. When in truth, Earth had prepared its children for competition, unlike anything these pampered species could imagine. Her quarters in the competitor housing block were sparse but private. Olivia secured the door and initiated a sweep for surveillance devices, finding 3 standard monitors which she left undisturbed. A fourth, more sophisticated device was hidden in the environmental controls. This one she carefully disabled, making it appear as a random malfunction. Banshee emerged from the carrying case, stretching wings and limbs to full extension. The micro-dragon grew to the size of a small cat, its beautiful coloration shifting to deep crimson as it adjusted to the room temperature. Banshee was no pet, but a military bioengineered companion specifically created for covert operations. The creature possessed thermal vision, could detect poisons, and transmitted sensory data directly to the neural implant at the base of Olivia's skull. The dragon chirped softly, sensing her tension. "We are exactly where we need to be," Olivia whispered, stroking the creature's head between its sensory horns. She removed her outer garments, revealing a body marked with scars, evidence of a life on a world that constantly tried to kill its inhabitants. Each mark told a story of survival. She accessed the roster of competitors projected from her communication device, studying the fighters she might face in the qualification round. Most were from standard gravity world species that evolved in environments far more forgiving than Earth. The few from higher gravity planets might pose challenges, but Olivia had trained specifically for those. Encounters. A notification appeared on the screen indicating her first match assignment: Preliminary Round 1 competitor, Olivia Reese Elvin, Collective versus competitor, Drac Core, Craxian. Empire. Olivia displayed an image of her opponent, a hulking figure with exoskeletal armor and natural weapons, an impressive warrior by any standard. But the Craxian homeworld had only 0.85 standard gravity. Olivia had grown up in 1.1 G. Every movement the Craxian made would require slightly more effort than it was accustomed to. A small advantage, but in the arena, small advantages kept you alive. She began her preparation ritual, stretching muscles that were denser than they appeared. Banshee watched with intelligent eyes, occasionally mimicking her movements. The micro-dragon understood what was coming. They had trained for combat scenarios extensively on Earth. The station's automated system announced curfew as artificial night descended on Nexus 9. In less than 12 hours, Olivia would step into the arena. The first public appearance of a disguised human in the galaxy's most watched combat sport. The first step in a mission to find Earth prisoners, reportedly held somewhere on this station. The first move in a game where losing meant death. Olivia closed her eyes and regulated her breathing, falling into the meditative state that allowed her to rest while remaining partially aware of her surroundings. In the darkness, Banshee curled against her chest, its specialized senses, keeping watch while its companion slept. Tomorrow the galaxy would begin to learn what Deathworlders were truly capable of. The preparation chamber echoed with the sounds of combat readiness as competitors prepared for their matches. Olivia sat alone in her designated area, while other fighters paced nervously or checked their equipment. She remained perfectly still, conserving energy in the way Earth Command had trained all operatives. Her stillness unnerved the others who expected pre-fight rituals or displays of aggression. Banshee rested across her shoulders, appearing to sleep. The microdragon had consumed specialized nutrient capsules designed to enhance its biological systems for the coming battle. Its scales now shimmered with subtle pulses of energy, visible only to those who knew what to look for. A Nexian official approached, clipboard in hand. "Your match begins in 20 minutes, Elvin," she stated with barely concealed disdain. "The armor racks are available for your protection." Olivia nodded but made no move toward the heavy protective gear. Instead, she wore only a lightweight bodysuit of carbon mesh. The material appeared decorative with its subtle patterns but could stop most cutting weapons and distribute impact force evenly across her body. The suit contained microscopic channels filled with reactive fluids that would harden instantly at points of impact. The official stared at her minimal protection. "Are you refusing regulation? Armor. Mobility is preferable?" Olivia replied, her voice maintaining the musical elven cadence. The Nexian shook her head, muttering about suicidal competitors before moving to the next preparation. Olivia used her communication device to review footage of Craxian fighting styles. One final time. The exoskeletal warriors relied on overwhelming force, crushing opponents with powerful limbs. Their natural armor made them difficult to injure through conventional means. Most competitors chose to target joint sections, where the plates connected. A different approach would be required. The arena beckoned as massive doors slid open. Olivia walked through the long corridor that led to the combat floor. She felt the subtle shift in gravity as she entered the arena proper. The artificial gravity had been increased by 5%. A small change meant to disorient competitors, but for Olivia it felt like home. The arena itself was a marvel of engineering. Crystalline walls that could reconfigure into different terrains surrounded a central fighting space currently set as a flat plain with scattered obstacles. The entire structure pulsed with energy generated by the 50,000 spectators who filled the viewing galleries. Their combined excitement created a physical presence in the air high above. In a special observation box, Ambassador Maya Sullivan watched through enhanced optics. Her expression remained neutral, but her knuckles whitened as she gripped the railing. This mission carried tremendous risk. If Olivia were discovered as human rather than elven, the diplomatic consequences would be severe. Earth was still establishing its position in galactic politics. The announcer's voice boomed through the arena system. "Welcome to the first qualifying round." The crowd roared their approval as massive screens displayed statistics and odds for each competitor. Olivia noted with interest that the betting systems gave her only a 12% chance of victory against the Craxian, introducing challenger Olivia Reese of the Elven Collective. The crowd responded with polite applause. The Elven were respected for their artistic and diplomatic achievements, but not considered serious contenders in combat sports. And her opponent, champion Drak Kor of the Craxian Empire, winner of 17 consecutive matches, the spectators erupted in thunderous approval as the massive Craxian warrior entered from the opposite side of the arena. Drak Kor stood nearly 7 feet tall, his exoskeletal armor gleaming under the lights. Serrated claws extended from his 4 upper limbs, while his lower limbs pounded the ground in a display of strength. Olivia and the Craxian approached the center of the arena, where a Nexian official waited to begin the match. The size difference between them was striking. Drak Kor loomed over Olivia, his bulk casting her in shadow. The official recited the rules: competitors will fight until surrender. Unconsciousness or inability to continue killing is permitted but not required. All natural weapons and registered companions are allowed. Combat ends when victory is declared. Drak Kor flexed his claws, producing a scraping sound that echoed through the arena. An intimidation tactic that caused several spectators in the front rows to flinch. Olivia remained perfectly still, her face serene as she studied her opponent. "Begin," shouted the official before quickly retreating from the combat zone. The Craxian wasted no time, charging forward with surprising speed for his size. His fighting style relied on overwhelming opponents in the first moments before they could establish defensive positions, a strategy that had served him well against 17 previous victims. Olivia did not move until the last possible moment. When she did, her movements seemed impossible to follow. She twisted away from the charge with fluid grace that defied the increased gravity. Her body moved with precision born from years of training in Earth's natural gravity. The crowd fell silent, momentarily confused by what they had witnessed. The elven woman should not have been able to avoid that attack. So effortlessly, Kor recovered quickly, spinning to face Olivia. His secondary arms extended, attempting to grab her from multiple angles. She ducked under one sweep, sidestepped another, and vaulted over a low attack. Her movements were economical, using the minimum energy required for maximum effect. The Craxian grew frustrated. Opponents typically tired quickly against his relentless assault. This one moved like water flowing around obstacles rather than confronting them directly. He increased his attack speed, sacrificing precision for overwhelming force. Olivia recognized the shift in tactics. This was the moment she had trained for. As the Craxian overextended on a powerful strike, she stepped inside his guard, a dangerous position that placed her within reach of all four arms but also gave her access to the vulnerable connection points of his exoskeleton. Banshee chose this moment to act. The seemingly decorative creature expanded, tripling in size as bioluminescent patterns rippled across its scales. The micro-dragon launched from Olivia's shoulders directly at the Craxian's face. Spectators gasped as the harmless pet transformed into something altogether different. The distraction lasted only seconds, but provided the opening Olivia needed. She struck with precision, targeting nerve clusters that the intelligence briefings had identified in Craxian physiology. Her fingers moved with surgical accuracy, pressing against specific points where exoskeletal plates met softer tissue. Kor roared, in surprise more than pain, as his lower right arm suddenly failed to respond to commands. The neural overload technique was designed to disable rather than damage, a temporary effect, but devastating in combat. The Craxian tried to compensate, swinging wildly with his remaining functional arms. Olivia continued her methodical approach, dancing away from dangerous strikes while exploiting momentary openings. The fighting style was unlike anything seen in arena combat before, where most matches devolved into tests of strength and endurance. This resembled a carefully choreographed performance. Meanwhile, Banshee had returned to Olivia's shoulder. The micro-dragon was now fully awake, its eyes glowing with predatory intelligence. The creature inhaled deeply, then expelled a concentrated stream of electromagnetic energy directly at the Craxian's head. The targeted pulse disrupted the warrior's neural implants, standard enhancements used by professional fighters to increase reaction time in combat. Awareness. Kor staggered, suddenly disoriented as his systems attempted to recalibrate. Olivia seized the opportunity. Her next series of strikes targeted the remaining nerve clusters. With mechanical precision, she systematically disabled each of the Craxian's limbs. The mighty warrior collapsed to his knees, unable to coordinate his movements. The entire exchange had taken less than 30 seconds. The arena fell completely silent. Spectators stared in disbelief. The elven woman stood calmly beside her fallen opponent, her breathing barely elevated. Banshee had returned to its smaller form, curling around her shoulders, as if nothing unusual had occurred. The Nexian official approached cautiously. Kor, do you surrender? She asked. The Craxian warrior struggled to rise, failing as his limbs refused to respond. I cannot continue, he growled. Victory to Olivia Reese, the announcer declared. The crowd remained stunned before erupting in a mixture of cheers and confused exclamations. No one had expected this outcome, least of all the gambling syndicates who had just lost substantial sums. In the observation box, Ambassador Sullivan allowed herself a small smile. This was only the beginning. Olivia left the arena floor with the same calm demeanor she had entered with. She could feel the stares of other competitors following her. Those who had dismissed the elven woman now reassessed the threat she represented. In the preparation area, medical staff approached to examine her for injuries. She waved them away, proceeding directly to the competitor housing section. Her mission required her to maintain the appearance of an ordinary participant. Only when alone in her quarters did she allow herself to relax. Banshee chirped softly, seeking approval. Olivia stroked the micro-dragon's head-first step complete, she whispered. Tomorrow we begin the real work. Her communication device activated silently. A message from Ambassador Sullivan appeared on the secure channel. Well done, the station. Security has increased surveillance on you as expected. Preliminary scans detect unusual energy signatures from levels 60 through 70. Consistent with containment fields, proceed to. The holding cells beneath the arena buzzed with activity as medical staff attended to injured competitors and security personnel monitored those waiting for their matches. Olivia sat on a bench in the common area. Her victory had earned her a brief reprieve before the next round of competition. Banshee rested in her lap, appearing once again as nothing more than an exotic pet. News of her unexpected triumph over the Craxian champion had spread throughout Nexus 9. The viewing screens in the common area replayed highlights of the match, focusing on the moment when Banshee transformed and disabled the neural implants. Federation analysts were already attempting to classify the micro-dragon, offering substantial rewards for information about the species. A tall figure approached, moving with unusual grace. The newcomer had scaled skin and vertically slitted eyes, characteristic of the saurian species from the outer rim. Their reptilian appearance was striking, with iridescent patterns running down their neck and arms. Impressive performance, the saurian said, sitting beside Olivia. The voice was carefully modulated to sound reptilian, but contained subtle harmonics that only someone from Earth would recognize. Olivia maintained her elven persona. Thank you, she replied, keeping her tone musical and light while her eyes scanned the area for monitoring devices. The saurian leaned closer, appearing to admire Banshee, but actually using the movement to speak more privately. You exposed yourself out there. The genetics team is running detailed scans as we speak. Olivia showed no reaction externally but felt a flash of concern. That was the risk. We knew they would notice eventually. My name is Zoe Carter, the saurian whispered, the scaled skin rippling in patterns that blocked lip-reading technology from security cameras. Another human disguised through genetic modification. That was always the plan. Olivia responded calmly as she stroked Banshee's scales. The micro-dragon stirred, sensing the tension in its companion. The common area filled with more competitors as the next round's match ended. A Voidwalker assassin slithered into the space, trailing wisps of darkened atmosphere. The alien had won its match, leaving its opponent alive, but severely injured. The assembled fighters gave the creature a wide berth. They added a second opponent to your next match, Zoe said, gesturing toward the announcement board. The Galactic Council is running scared after your performance. They want to make a statement. Olivia checked the board, her face betraying no emotion. The screen displayed the next day's matchups. Her name appeared paired against both a Voidwalker and a Mecha Sapien battle unit. A combat protocol violation that revealed the official sphere. The rules clearly stated one opponent per round until the finals. Ambassador Sullivan must have anticipated this. Olivia thought the mission parameters included contingencies for rule changes. How long have you been here? Olivia asked. The disguised human, 3 standard months, Zoe replied. I've been mapping the restricted sections whenever I can access them. The detention levels are heavily guarded, but I found access points through maintenance shafts. The 2 women spoke casually, appearing to engage in normal competitor conversation while exchanging critical intelligence. Their respective missions were part of a larger Earth operation to locate and free human captives, reportedly being held for experimental purposes. Banshee chirped softly, alerting Olivia to approaching security guards. 2 Nexian officials moved through the common area, scanning each competitor with handheld devices. Their 4 eyes blinked in rapid sequences, indicating data transmission to the central security system. Time to separate, Zoe said, rising smoothly. They're checking genetic markers more thoroughly after your match. My quarters are in Section 12, if you need to coordinate. Olivia nodded a simple acknowledgement as the disguised human moved away, merging with the crowd of competitors. The security guards approached her position. Devices extended. Routine scan, Elvin, the lead guard, stated. The scan is more detailed than previous checks. Please remain still. Olivia complied, keeping her expression neutral as the scanning beam passed over her body. Banshee remained motionless, understanding the importance of appearing harmless. The micro-dragon had been specifically engineered to confuse standard scanning technology. Its DNA a complex blend of multiple species. The guard frowned at the readout. Unusual genetic markers detected. The device highlighted several anomalies in her cellular structure. Stand for advanced screening. Competitor. Olivia rose smoothly, hiding her concern behind a mask of elven serenity. She had expected this moment but had hoped for more time to complete the primary mission objectives. The modified genetics were designed to withstand basic scans, but detailed analysis would eventually reveal inconsistencies. The guards escorted her to a medical examination room where more sophisticated equipment awaited. A Federation scientist entered the room, his white uniform marking him as part of the Biological Research Division. Interesting results from your preliminary scan, he said, activating the medical systems. Your cellular regeneration rate exceeds elven parameters, and your muscle density shows anomalous readings. Livia offered the prepared explanation. My mother was from an isolated elven colony with different environmental conditions. Mixed heritage is common among trading families. The scientist nodded, but his expression remained suspicious. Please, place your companion in the containment field for separate analysis. Olivia hesitated. This was a critical moment. Banshee contained classified Earth technology and biological enhancements that could not be allowed to fall into Federation hands. The micro-dragon sensed her reluctance, tensing slightly against her palm. A sudden commotion outside the examination room provided unexpected intervention. Warning sirens activated throughout the medical section. Security breach on level 40. The automated system announced all personnel report to emergency stations. The scientist glanced at the door, clearly torn between completing the examination and responding to the alert. The decision was made for him as his communication device chimed with priority orders. Remain here, he instructed Olivia. The examination will continue after the security matter is resolved. As soon as the scientist departed, Olivia activated her subdermal communication implant. Ambassador, the security scans detected anomalies. Require immediate extraction. Sullivan responded instantly. That won't be necessary. The distraction was planned. Proceed. To access Point Theta, maintenance engineer Grace Lynn will assist you. Equipment has been placed as discussed. Olivia moved to the door, checking the corridor before slipping out of the examination room. She located a maintenance shaft exactly where the briefing had indicated it would be. The cover retracted automatically as she approached, revealing a human woman in technician coveralls. Grace Lynn nodded in greeting. Quickly. The distraction will only hold their attention for 15 minutes. We need to reach level 67. The two women descended through the maintenance shaft. Banshee, now fully alert, flew slightly ahead of them, using its enhanced senses to detect security measures or personnel. The micro-dragon had shifted to stealth mode, its scales absorbing light rather than reflecting it, making it nearly invisible in the dimly lit passages. 3 levels down, they encountered their first obstacle. A security field blocked the shaft with crisscrossing laser sensors. Grace removed a small device from her tool belt, attaching it to the nearest panel. Federation security systems are designed to detect tampering, she explained as she worked. The trick isn't bypassing them, but convincing them you're authorized. The laser grid flickered, then reconfigured, creating a small opening. Grace gestured for Olivia to proceed. This is as good as it gets. 5 seconds before it resets. Olivia slipped through the opening, Banshee following close behind. Grace came last, the grid reactivating moments. After she cleared it, the maintenance shaft continued downward, growing narrower as they descended into the restricted areas of the station. They paused at a junction, while Grace consulted a holographic schematic. According to intelligence, the detention cells should be through this section. She pointed to a heavily reinforced door. That's the primary access point, guarded and monitored continuously. Olivia studied the schematic. Is there a secondary entrance? Grace highlighted a small vent shaft. 2 problems, though. The atmospheric filters would detect any organic matter passing through, and the exit point is under constant surveillance. Banshee chirped softly, drawing Olivia's attention. The microdragon hovered near a different section of the schematic, its enhanced vision detecting something the humans had missed. There's another way, Olivia said. Following Banshee's lead, the arena power conduits run directly beneath the detention level. The station draws massive energy during matches, creating electromagnetic interference that could provide cover. Grace reconfigured the schematic, confirming Olivia's observation. She's right. The next scheduled match creates a perfect opportunity. A 20-second window when the surveillance systems reboot. Their planning was interrupted by Olivia's communication implant activating. Ambassador Sullivan's voice was tense. Situation has changed. The arena officials have rescheduled your match. You fight in 2 hours. Not tomorrow. Olivia processed this information quickly. The timeline had accelerated dramatically, leaving little room for error. She turned to Grace. We need to split up. You continue mapping the detention level. You'll return to the competitors' quarters before they're discovered. I'm missing. The maintenance. Engineer nodded. Be careful, your opponent's selection has changed again. They're not taking any chances with you. The arena roared with the collective voices of 70,000 spectators. The largest audience in Nexus 9 history. News of the mysterious elven fighter had spread throughout the station, drawing unprecedented attention. The crystalline walls pulsed, with energy patterns reflecting the excitement of the crowd. Olivia stood in the center of the combat floor, her lightweight carbon mesh suit gleaming under the harsh lights. Banshee perched on her shoulder scales, shimmering with subtle energy signatures, visible only to specialized scanning equipment. The microdragon appeared calm, but internal readings showed its biological systems operating at peak efficiency. The announcer's voice boomed across the arena. Welcome to this special championship match special. Indeed, Olivia thought the accelerated timeline and modified rules revealed the Federation's growing fear. Their suspicions had forced an escalation in the mission parameters today. Our mysterious elven challenger faces a unique test of skill 2. Opponents in simultaneous combat. The crowd responded with mixed reactions, many shouting about unfair conditions while others, eager for blood sport, cheered the increased danger. Ambassador Sullivan watched from her diplomatic box, her expression carefully neutral while her fingers worked frantically across a concealed communications panel. Grace Lynn, disguised as a maintenance technician, had positioned herself at a crucial junction of the arena's power systems. Her security override had been accepted, without question, the false credentials provided by Earth intelligence proving their worth. She waited for the precise moment to implement the next phase of the plan. The announcer continued introducing the opponents. First, the Voidwalker assassin, Krilnar, undefeated in 17. Matches, a dark shape materialized at the far end of the arena. The Voidwalker moved like liquid shadow, its form constantly shifting. The species evolved in the dark spaces between stars, their bodies composed of exotic matter that defied conventional physics. Tendrils of darkness trailed behind the creature as it glided forward, and the Federation combat. Mech designation: Executor Prime. From the opposite entrance emerged a humanoid battle machine, standing over 8 feet tall. Its metallic body gleamed with weapon ports and reinforced armor. The Mecha Sapien represented the pinnacle of Federation military technology, with tactical systems designed specifically for arena combat. Its optical sensors fixed on Olivia, scanning for weaknesses. The crowd fell silent as the severity of the matchup became clear. Even the most bloodthirsty spectators recognized the imbalance. The odds displayed on betting terminals showed Olivia's survival chances at less than 7%. The Nexian official approached the center of the arena. This match will proceed under modified rules, he announced. Victory requires elimination of both opponents. Surrender is not permitted. Olivia maintained her calm expression while internally adjusting her strategy. The rule changes confirmed what Ambassador Sullivan had warned her. The Federation wanted her eliminated permanently. Begin. The Mecha Sapien moved first, launching forward with surprising speed for its size. The battle machine had clearly been programmed with data from Olivia's previous match, its attack patterns designed to counter her evasive style. Meanwhile, the Voidwalker circled to her flank, cutting off escape routes. Olivia felt a sudden shift beneath her feet, and arena floor trembled as gravity increased by 20%, a significant jump that would disorient most competitors. But for Olivia, who had trained in variable gravity chambers on Earth, the adjustment was manageable. Her muscles compensated automatically, redistributing force across her enhanced skeletal structure. The Mecha Sapien registered her adaptation immediately, its tactical systems recalculating threat assessment. The machine adjusted its approach, switching to ranged attacks. Small ports opened, along its forearms projecting focused sonic pulses designed to disrupt inner ear function and balance. Olivia dodged the first wave, but the Voidwalker used the distraction to close distance. The shadow creature released a cloud of neurotoxic spores that filled the air around her. Banshee reacted instantly, expanding its lung capacity to filter the air near Olivia's face, creating a small pocket of breathable atmosphere. The crowd gasped at the display. The pet dragon was revealing more abilities. With each passing moment, Federation scientists in the observation decks frantically recorded data, attempting to classify the creature in the maintenance tunnels beneath the arena. Grace Lynn monitored the power fluctuations. The energy draw had reached 90% of maximum capacity, exactly as predicted. She activated her specialized equipment, establishing a connection to the arena's gravitational control systems. The hack would require precise timing. Olivia fought defensively, conserving energy. While studying her opponents, the Mecha Sapien relied on programmed combat protocols, effective but predictable. The Voidwalker was more dangerous, its attacks following no recognizable pattern. The shadow creature seemed to anticipate her movements. Almost before she made them, she needed to create separation. The two opponents worked in coordinated patterns, forcing her to constantly react rather than establish her own rhythm. This was a deliberate strategy designed to exhaust her. Olivia changed, tactics suddenly charging directly at the Mecha Sapien. The machine reacted according to its programming, shifting to a defensive stance. But Olivia had anticipated this. She feinted left, then vaulted completely over the battle unit using its own body as a shield against the Voidwalker. The maneuver created momentary confusion as her opponents recalibrated their positions. The brief opening was all she needed. Olivia activated her neural implant, sending a coded signal to Ambassador Sullivan now. She transmitted, in the diplomatic box. Sullivan pressed a sequence of commands on her hidden console. The action triggered Grace Lynn's systems in the maintenance tunnels. The engineer executed the program she had prepared, accessing the arena's primary controls. The effect was immediate. The gravitational field fluctuated wildly, surging to 3 times Earth normal before dropping to near zero. The sudden change caught everyone by surprise except Olivia, who had braced for the shift. Her Deathworld physiology adapted instantly. The Mecha Sapien stumbled its stabilization systems, overwhelmed by the rapid changes. The machine crashed to one knee, servos whining as they attempted to compensate. The Voidwalker fared better, its amorphous body less, affected by gravitational shifts but still momentarily disoriented. This was the window Olivia had been waiting for. She reached for her wrist, activating the subdermal implant concealed beneath her skin. The device pulsed once, sending biochemical signals directly to Banshee. The micro-dragon launched from her shoulder, hovering in midair as its metamorphosis began. The creature's body glowed with intense bioluminescence as cellular restructuring occurred at an accelerated rate. Bones lengthened, muscle mass increased, exponential scales hardened into armor plating. What had appeared to be a small companion animal expanded rapidly. Skeletal structure, elongating wings unfurling to a 15-foot span. The crowd fell silent, then erupted in chaos as the full-size dragon hovered above the arena floor. Its appearance was terrifying and magnificent. The creature's head now featured rows of specialized sensory organs, while its tail ended in a neural disruptor capable of disabling electronic systems across a wide area. The Mecha Sapien targeted the transformed dragon, immediately recognizing the greater threat. its weapon systems recalibrated, launching a barrage of sonic pulses. Banshee dodged with impossible agility for its size. The neural link between dragon and handler allowing perfect coordination. The Voidwalker attempted to envelope Olivia in toxic darkness, but she was already moving. Her fighting style changed completely, abandoning the defensive posture she had maintained throughout the tournament. With Banshee providing aerial support, she could now fully demonstrate the combat capabilities of a Deathworld human. Her strikes targeted the Voidwalker with precision. The shadow creature recoiled as Olivia's enhanced strength penetrated. Its amorphous defenses, each blow calculated to disrupt the exotic matter comprising its form. The Voidwalker retreated, attempting to reform, but Olivia pressed forward, relentless in her attack. Meanwhile, Banshee engaged the Mecha Sapien in aerial combat. The dragon's neural disruptor tail sending targeted electromagnetic pulses at the battle machine. The Mecha Sapien's shields absorbed the first attacks, but began failing under the concentrated assault. Warning indicators flashed across its tactical display as systems began shutting down. The arena's security forces mobilized, responding to the unexpected transformation. Energy weapons appeared in observation galleries as Federation officials recognized the threat. But they were too late. Ambassador Sullivan initiated Phase 2. A carefully orchestrated series of system failures cascaded through Nexus 9. Security doors malfunctioned, communication systems went offline. Backup generators failed to engage the station's defensive grid designed to protect against external threats found itself compromised from within. In the detention levels, Zoe Carter and a team of disguised humans moved swiftly through suddenly unlocked corridors. They reached the prisoner cells, discovering dozens of Earth citizens held in stasis. The rescue team worked quickly, reviving the captives and distributing weapons back in the arena. Olivia completed her victory. The Voidwalker lay immobile, its exotic matter stabilized by specialized restraints, while the Mecha Sapien stood frozen, its systems completely overridden by Banshee's neural disruptor. The command center of Nexus 9 stood silent as Olivia entered, flanked by Ambassador Sullivan and 2 Earth security officers. The circular room with its panoramic view screens and control stations represented the nerve center of the entire station. Federation officers stood with hands raised, their weapons confiscated by Earth forces. The takeover had been swift and precise, minimizing casualties while maximizing strategic advantage. At the center of the room stood Admiral Lily Blackwood, her pristine white uniform contrasting with the chaos around her. The Admiral's face remained composed, but her eyes burned with cold fury. "This station is under Federation protection," she stated, her voice steady. "Any hostile action constitutes an act of war." Ambassador Sullivan smiled thinly. "This is not a hostile action, Admiral. This is a rescue operation sanctioned under Galactic Treaty Section 12, Paragraph 4, regarding the illegal detention of sentient beings." Olivia studied the Admiral carefully. This was the architect of the Federation's anti-human policies, the woman responsible for classifying Earth as a death world and implementing restrictions on human integration into galactic society. More importantly, she was directly connected to the disappearance of Earth scientists and soldiers over the past 3 years. "You infiltrated our highest security facility," Blackwood hissed. "Impossible." Olivia stepped forward. Banshee curled comfortably around her shoulders, her elven disguise now completely removed, revealing distinctive human features. "You called our world a death world and assumed it made us weak," she replied, her voice calm. "You never considered it made us adaptable." The Admiral's eyes widened as recognition dawned. "The arena fighter, the one who defeated our champions. You were human all along." Earth forces had secured all critical systems throughout Nexus. 9 communications weapons and life support now operated under human control. The station's extensive database had been copied, its secrets now accessible to Earth intelligence. The imprisoned human scientists and soldiers who had disappeared over the years were being evacuated to Earth vessels that had arrived in response to Ambassador Sullivan's signal. "You violated every diplomatic protocol," Blackwood accused. "These actions will have consequences." Sullivan approached a control station, activating a holographic display. "Perhaps we should discuss the real violations." "Admiral," the display showed detailed Records of illegal experimentation conducted on human subjects. Documentation of Federation scientists studying Earth. Physiology without consent. Evidence of a systematic campaign to suppress human advancement in the galactic community. These records were recovered from your personal database, the ambassador stated. Her tone remained diplomatic but carried unmistakable threat. Each document contains your authorization code. Each experiment bears your signature. The Admiral's composure cracked momentarily before she regained control. You cannot prove these were obtained legally, she countered. The Federation Council will never accept stolen evidence. Olivia watched the exchange with interest. The diplomatic battle would prove as challenging as any arena. Contest Earth's position in galactic politics had always been precarious. The Deathworld classification had served as convenient justification for limiting human involvement in galactic affairs. Zoe Carter entered the command center, her reptilian disguise now removed. She carried a data crystal containing the complete records of the detention facility. Preliminary analysis confirms 47 human subjects held against their will. She reported 3 deceased during experimentations. The survivors are being treated by medical staff. Admiral Blackwood maintained her defiant stance. These individuals were suspected of espionage against Federation interests. Their detention was authorized under security protocols. Ambassador Sullivan's expression hardened. We have transmission logs proving these individuals were targeted specifically for their knowledge of human physiology and neural adaptation. Not for any security concern, the deception is thoroughly documented. Throughout the Station Earth forces continued the systematic takeover. Grace Lynn supervised the technical team, ensuring communications remained blocked, preventing Federation reinforcements from responding. Nexus 9's defensive systems had been reconfigured to protect against external threats. A Federation relief fleet would find it difficult to retake the station without significant casualties. Olivia moved to one of the observation windows, gazing out at the vast expanse of space visible beyond the stations. Outer Ring Banshee chirped softly, sensing her contemplative mood. The micro-dragon had returned to its compact form, conserving energy after the extensive metamorphosis in the arena. The creature's capabilities had proven decisive but also revealed technological advancements that Earth had hoped to keep secret. The mission had succeeded beyond expectations, but had also accelerated Earth's confrontation with the Federation. The careful diplomatic balance maintained since first contact would now shift dramatically. Human capabilities could no longer be underestimated or dismissed. In the command center, Admiral Blackwood had been secured by Earth security officers. Her senior staff likewise detained pending investigation. Ambassador Sullivan established communication with Earth Command, reporting mission success and requesting further instructions. Nexus 9 is secure, the ambassador reported. All objectives achieved. Casualties minimal. Awaiting diplomatic team for negotiations, Olivia listened. As plans formed for the next phase, Earth would use the station and its intelligence as leverage, forcing the Federation to acknowledge human rights and revise the Deathworld classification. The rescued scientists would provide testimony about their mistreatment, strengthening Earth's position in the coming talks. A Federation transmission broke through the communications blackout. The urgent message displayed on the main screen. Federation Council. Emergency session, convened. Nexus 9 situation. Classified Level 1. Diplomatic incident negotiation team dispatched. Military response, suspended pending talk. Ambassador Sullivan allowed herself a small smile. The Federation Council had overruled military commanders, choosing negotiation over confrontation. This represented the first significant diplomatic victory. The evidence recovered from Nexus 9 had clearly shocked even the anti-human factions within the Council. Admiral Blackwood watched the transmission, her face paling. You planned this all along, she realized. The arena, the champion fighter, the rescue operation, all designed to force diplomatic recognition. Sullivan nodded. Earth has attempted peaceful integration for 3 years. Your faction has blocked us at every turn. This operation became necessary only after conventional diplomacy failed. The command center buzzed with activity as Earth personnel prepared for the arrival of the Federation diplomatic team. Stations were secured, evidence organized, testimonies recorded. The human position strengthened with each passing hour. Olivia received new orders from Earth Command. Her role as combat operative complete, she would now join the diplomatic team providing first-hand testimony about the arena manipulation and Federation attempts to eliminate her. She had proven what humans could accomplish against overwhelming odds. A living example of Earth adaptability, Banshee stirred sensing her thoughts. The micro-dragon represented another diplomatic challenge. Its advanced capabilities revealed technologies the Federation had not believed possible from a Deathworld species. The creature would become part of negotiations regarding technology sharing and military limitations. Grace Lynn joined Olivia at the observation window. There, mission accomplished, the two women could finally acknowledge the risks they had taken and the success they had achieved. "I never doubted you would win," Grace said. "Your arena performance was perfectly calculated," Olivia smiled. The arena was the easy part. The real challenge begins now. The diplomatic shuttle carrying Federation representatives appeared on the long-range scanners approaching Nexus 9. With caution, Ambassador Sullivan gathered her team preparing for the most important negotiations. In human history, Olivia took her place beside the ambassador, her Deathworlder status now an advantage rather than a limitation. As the Federation delegation arrived, Olivia stood calm and confident. Banshee perched on her shoulder, a living symbol of human ingenuity and adaptation. The Federation representatives approached warily, their eyes drawn to the human who had defeated their champions and exposed their secrets. "Welcome to the negotiating table," Ambassador Sullivan greeted them. "Earth looks forward to establishing new understanding between our peoples." The lead Federation diplomat nodded stiffly. "We are authorized to discuss terms for station return and prisoner exchange." Sullivan smiled. "That will be an excellent starting point. But our discussions must include recognition of human rights throughout Federation space, reclassification of Earth status, and guarantees against future experimentation on our citizens." The negotiations would be complex and challenging, but the humans held the stronger position. For the first time since joining the galactic community, Earth could demand equal treatment. The Deathworld classification that had served as justification for discrimination would become recognized as a source of unique strength and adaptation. Olivia observed the proceedings, her mission complete but her service to Earth continuing in this new diplomatic role. She had entered the arena as a disguised operative and emerged as a symbol of human potential. The mysterious elf woman with her dragon companion would become legend throughout the galaxy.